Welcome to NIOS. Today we will study second part of the seventh chapter. Seventh chapter's name is Popular Resistance Movements Against the British Rule. And our today's topic is Peasant Movement in the 19th Century. This is really a very interesting topic of modern Indian history. I hope you will enjoy watching this video. Dear learners, as you know, we had discussed the meaning of resistance movement in our previous video. We also came to know about the causes of these movements and the methods adopted by the Indian people to oppose the foreign rule. As you already know, that the British ruled over India for almost 200 years. During this long period, many rebellions took place in different parts of the country. You would be surprised to know that from the year 1763 to the year 1865, more than 40 major rebellions took place in the country. However, all these rebellions were local in nature and did not affect the entire country. We have discussed about the various new land revenue settlements that were introduced in India by the British. Do you remember their names? You are right. Let me tell those names again. That those land revenue settlements were three in numbers. The first name was Ryotwari. The second name was Mehelwari. And the third name was Permanent Settlement. Learners, the condition of peasants or farmers did not improve with these new systems and they became more poor and unhappy. And this unhappiness and frustration inside them, this led to the beginning of peasant revolts. Peasant revolt is the revolt of farmers against those who exploited them. While in some cases the revolts were against the British East India Company, but in some other cases they were aimed against the zamindars and moneylenders. Let us now try to understand the various reasons responsible for the beginning of revolts of farmers. The first reason which we are going to discuss now is according to the permanent settlement, the new land revenue settlement, the zamindar became the owner of the land. However, he was supposed to collect the fixed amount as revenue from the farmers and give it to the British. And if in case he failed to do so, the land was taken away from him and given to someone else. So, due to fear of losing their land, the zamindars collected land revenue, the tax from the farmers strictly. Even if the crops failed due to less rainfall or any natural reason, still the land tax was not reduced. This forced the farmers to borrow money from rich people. These rich people were called as Mahajans, and also they were called as moneylenders. The poor farmers were not able to pay back the money to the moneylenders. The poor farmers were exploited by the moneylenders and zamindars. Most of them became bonded laborers and worked for free till they were able to repay the money borrowed from moneylenders. Learners, these poor farmers often revolted against the upper class. We should also understand that in case the zamindars failed to pay the tax to the British, the land was sold to some other person who was ready to pay more revenue to the British. Mostly these people were from the city and they had no interest in the improvement of land or farmers because their only goal was to collect as much money as possible from the farmers. So, due to this attitude of new zamindars, the condition of farmers and their methods of agriculture could not improve and they remained backward and poor. Learners, in order to earn more money, the farmers adopted a new method of doing agriculture. Do you know it? Let us understand this. The farmers started growing commercial crops. Do you know what is commercial crops? Commercial crops are those crops which are grown to earn profit, and they are different from subsistence crops. Subsistence crops are the crops which are grown for use of farmers' family and animals. For example, wheat, rice, corn are subsistence crop which we use for our food to fill our stomach. And we were talking about the farmers started growing commercial crops like indigo, sugarcane, jute, cotton, opium, etc. Commercial crops are also known as cash crop because these crops are grown for profit. Because the farmers started growing commercial crops, so there was result of increase in production of commercial crops, but the production of food grains decreased, and this shortage of food grains led to famines. As now people did not have enough food to eat. Learners, have you heard about the term famine earlier? A famine is an extreme shortage of food caused due to reasons like crop failure or war, etc. Thus, hungry and poor farmers revolted against the British in many parts of the country from time to time. Let us now learn about some peasant revolts that took place due to wrong economic and agricultural policies of the British. Now we will talk about the Fakir and Sannyasi rebellions. These rebellions took place in the year 1770 till the year 1820s. Learners, the British established control over Bengal in the year 1757, and this led to increase in land revenue and exploitation of farmers by the foreigners. In the year 1770, Bengal was hit by a big famine. After this famine, poor farmers and those zamindars whose land had been taken away came together. These people were joined by fakirs and sannyasis also. Fakirs were a group of Muslim religious men who used to travel from one place to the other in Bengal. Their leader was a man named Majnun Shah. The sannyasis were Hindu religious men, and they also opposed the policies of East India Company. The sannyasis were religious men who traveled from North India to places of worship in Bengal. These sannyasis were given a religious tax by the zamindar. However, due to crop failure and increased land tax by the British East India Company and famine that killed a big population of Bengal, the zamindars could not pay the taxes. Similarly, the Muslim fakirs also faced some problems. All this jointly led to the birth of the Sannyasi revolt. Fakirs and sannyasis attacked factories and occupied the cash, goods, arms, and weapons. Learners, do you know the name of the novel in which the complete incidents of sannyasis' revolts are mentioned? Bengali novel Anand Math, written by Bankim Chandra, mentions the sannyasi revolt in detail. Now we will talk about Indigo Rebellion. Learners, Indigo Rebellion was the other famous peasant revolt that took place against the British rule. Let us understand about it in more detail. As we have already discussed, the farmers started growing commercial crops in order to meet the increased land tax by the Britishers. Indigo was one such commercial crop. Indigo was used to dye the clothes, and the English cloth merchants needed it to color their clothes. The farmers who grew indigo, they were all unhappy because farmers were paid very low prices for growing indigo. Another reason was that the land on which indigo was grown used to become infertile. Therefore, the farmers could not grow any other crop on that land except indigo. And the condition was that both Hindu and Muslim farmers refused to cultivate indigo. And finally, the government passed orders to not to force the farmers to grow indigo. And this was a victory for the farmers. Now we will discuss about another Farazi movement, Farazi. Farazi movement was during the time period between the year 1838 till the year 1848. This was a no tax movement started in Bengal. Farazi movement was led by Shariatullah Khan and Dadu Mian. All the farmers of Bengal united against the wrong policies of British and zamindars. Now we will discuss about another movement, Wahhabi movement. Wahhabi movement was during the time period from the year 1830 till the year 1960s. This movement was led by Syed Ahmad Barelvi of Rai Bareli. In the beginning, this movement was limited to Muslims only, but later Hindu farmers also joined it to oppose their exploitation by the landlords. Learners, let us now try to understand the importance of these peasants' revolts. Wrong economic policies of the British were not beneficial for the farmers. The peasant revolts that took place in different parts of the country were against the exploitation of the farmers. It is important to remember that the goal of these revolts was not to end the British rule in India. However, they were able to create awareness among the people. In fact, these revolts prepared the ground for various other rebellions that started against the British rule and finally led to the revolt of 1857. Dear learners, with this we come to the end of this video. Let us quickly revise what we have learned so far. In this video, first we talked about the meaning of peasant revolt. Second, we discussed about the causes that led to the beginning of peasant revolts in India. Third, we talked about the beginning of commercialization of agriculture and its impact on the Indian agriculture. Fourth point, we discussed about the Fakir and Sannyasi movement of Bengal. Fifth point, we discussed about Indigo Rebellion and Farazi movement and also the Wahhabi movements. Sixth point, we discussed about the importance of peasant revolts in the history of India. That is all for today's session. If you have any query or you have any doubt and you want to send us email, our email ID is signlanguage@nios.ac.in. For more and more such educational video, you can also subscribe our YouTube channel. And for further more details, you can visit our website. Our website address is www.nios.ac.in. Thank you for watching. Take care till we meet next time. Namaskar.
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने राहों को आलोकित करने,
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने राहों को आलोकित करने, हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने, हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने। जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने राहों को आलोकित करने।
धन साधन समय की सीमा से विद्यालय जो मुक्त हो, धन साधन समय की सीमा से विद्यालय जो मुक्त हो।
कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े वे विषय की लोच से युक्त हो,
कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े वे विषय की लोच से युक्त हो।
मित्रों हम उठे और जागे,
मंजिल आने की ध्वनि सुने, हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने।
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने राहों को आलोकित करने।
राष्ट्रीय मुक्त विद्यालय का है द्वार खुला सबकी खातिर। शिक्षा परीक्षा का अवसर एक बार ही क्यों मिलता फिर।
शिक्षा और परीक्षा का अवसर एक बार ही क्यों